We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is Monday, December 6th, 6:20 a.m. Just got off work. It was actually a pretty chill night. It was just me and some other dude, but we got quite a bit done and just been catching up on some podcasts that I ain't listened to in forever. I'd been on a last podcast on the left binge, and they've almost got up to like 500 episodes, and so yeah, it took me forever to listen to all theirs until, the last episode they put out. So I'm all caught up on them, and I went back and started catching back up on Deborah Gets Red Pilled, which they're on YouTube. I'm not sure where else they're available. You'd have to, I don't know, just listen to an episode. I'm sure they do their little shout outs and stuff to where else they're available. But it's a really cool concept. You guys should check it out. It's a mother-in-law who's like blue-pilled, and then her son-in-law is pretty much red-pilling her. That's the whole concept of the podcast, and I don't know, it's a definitely an awesome concept. I think that's why it caught on and blew up so quick. Man, here in Kentucky, dude, it has been coming down like crazy with the rain, lightning and thundering, and apparently there's a leak in my apartment. Knock on wood, it's not leaking through the ceiling yet, but there's been multiple other tenants in the complex that I live in, the same landlord, who've had leaks pop up, and apparently this landlord just doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't fix anything. There's been people who have had, like, leaks and, like, yeah, like, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. Which is funny because they act like they do. They act like they're super strict and shit. But, I don't know. That's typical landlord bullshit. I tried buying a house at one point in time, but, hang on, my cat. We got Christmas stuff. Sorry about that. I'll have to cut it out. Maybe I'll just leave it in there for shits and giggles. It's like some little sensor thing. But yeah, I mean, I'd tried like getting into a house and shit before, like buying a house, but literally I had a marriage falling apart. The house itself was falling apart quicker than I could fix it. I was the only one working. It was just like, nah, man, this ain't working out for me. Working like 6 days a week and divorce, and I don't know. It was just everything, and the house falling apart, like everything at once, But yeah, today, I mean, as far as like other update stuff, like today, me and Sammy, she said something about we might finish up a podcast we were working on. It was just kind of like a silly one, just crazy news stories and stuff. But it's we're going out for our anniversary. She, I believe, has to work today, but when she gets off work, we're going to Movie Tavern, which is pretty dope. It's in Nicholasville, Kentucky. You can basically sit down and eat and have a drink if you want. It's like full-blown dinner while you're watching a movie, and we're going to watch the new Ghostbusters, which if it's the trailer that I think that I watched before, I think it has one of the kids from Stranger Things, and it's not all like social justice and feminist and stuff like that one they tried to come out with. The last one they came out with, the feminist one, looked fucking retarded. I didn't even watch it, and I probably never will. Um, but this one's supposed to be like a genuinely decent Ghostbusters movie, so I don't know. We'll check it out and see if it's any good, and just have a fun day, celebrate our anniversary. But we'll get on with the show. All right, before we get into this, I got another confession to make. Well, I gained another subscriber today, so that's pretty cool. I try to keep transparency, and I do have a confession. There's a show on BuzzFeed that I like. I know, I said BuzzFeed. It's a paranormal investigation show. It's this little tiny Asian dude and this tall white dude. And they go to all these haunted places. And the tall white dude, he's kind of like an atheist. The Asian dude, he's like, I guess, like Christian or Catholic or something. And he's real into paranormal and stuff. And I don't know. It's just fun to watch. It's a paranormal investigation show. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But besides that, I can't stand BuzzFeed. That being said, they did break this story. And before you turn it off and click off, I do think you should tune into the rest of the episode because it's got documents and everything and links in the actual article to where you can check out the actual declassified CIA documents. This story's crazy. I usually just kind of proofread and then cover it live on the air so you kind of get my reaction to things. But yeah, there was something the other day that BuzzFeed came out with, and I ain't gonna lie, was kind of like, wait, BuzzFeed reported that? So I don't know. Like I said, don't trust any form of media. Don't play the right or left paradigm. But figured this was interesting. So secret CIA files say staffers committed sex crimes involving children. Declassified CIA Inspector General reports show a pattern of abuse and a repeated decision by federal prosecutors not to hold agency personnel accountable. CIA. Untouchable, man. Untouchable. And we've seen this happen before with the Pentagon, with Project Flicker or Operation Flicker. I need to do a whole episode on that, honestly, because I've mentioned it several times, and I need to just cover it. That way, if anyone doesn't know about it, they can just listen to that episode. But yeah, go do your own research, do your own homework, and check out that. Pretty much, it was like Pentagon was like one of the largest at one point traders in the child pornography, using like basically their work computers and shit, trading child pornography. Like I'm talking like high ass levels of Pentagon, like generals and colonels and shit. That's another reason, like, when I never got into the whole Q thing and I don't understand it, because it's like, oh, well, they're fighting the pedophiles, and it's like, do you not know about Operation Flicker? Like, they are the pedophiles, dude. Sorry to burst your little bubble, Q people, but the government is the pedophiles, and you trust the government to catch the pedophiles, or the military. Like, how does that work? Speaking of military, too, there's another little rabbit hole that you should go down. And I'm not anti-military. Most of my family's like Army and shit. But they're all low-level shit, except for my uncle, who's a Prince Hall 33rd degree Freemason. He's a black dude. He made it up to like drill sergeant or something. But most people, I don't want people assuming that I'm just anti-military, or I don't support the troops or anything. But the troops that I support are like the low-level cool people that I know personally, not pedophiles in the Pentagon. But Needless to say, they are untouchable. Over the past 14 years, the Central Intelligence Agency has secretly amassed credible evidence that at least 10 of its employees, and I guarantee you, allegedly, I have to be careful, but I bet you it's more than 10, and contractors committed sexual crimes involving children. Though most of these cases were referred to the U.S. attorneys for prosecution, only one of the individuals was ever charged with a crime. Only 1 out of 10. So, not very good odds. I'm not a gambling man, or I'm not good at math, but 1 out of 10. Huh. Prosecutors sent the rest of the cases back to the CIA to handle internally. Oh, how do you think they handled it? Oh, I'm sure, they got arrested and thrown into prison. That would be the right thing to do, right? Meaning few faced any consequences beyond the possible loss of their jobs. Not even guaranteed loss, possible loss. So they might have been fired. And security clearances. Oh, they got stripped of security clearances. Damn, they got demoted for fucking kids. Wow. That marks a striking deviation from how sex crimes involving children have been handled at other federal agencies, such as the Department of Homeland Security and the DEA. Fuck the DEA. CIA insiders say the agency resists prosecution of its staff for the fear the cases will reveal state secrets. Oh, that's what it is. You don't want secrets being revealed. Sure. Okay. I don't understand what that has to do. Well, I guess they could whistle blow when they get out. And God knows that the CIA, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. Nope, I don't trust anything from the CIA. So, of course, they don't want whistleblowers like, hey, did you know that we're doing, MK Ultra projects on kindergartners in this area of the United States? Like, yeah, I'm sure they'd have all sorts of crazy shit to tell about, the CIA. The revelations are contained in hundreds of internal agency reports obtained by BuzzFeed News through Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. So that's one good thing. I wonder when that's going to finally go away. Freedom of Information Act. One employee had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was fired. A 2-year-old, dude. That's just sick. A second employee purchased 3 sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. That's crazy. So the mothers film their own children. I don't understand how you can do that to your own kid, man. That's just disgusting. A third employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. So while, right there, just like Operation Flickr or Project Flickr or whatever, sitting there viewing 1,400 sexually abusive images of kiddie porn while on the clock. Yeah. If any, the CIA took against him. A contractor who arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent posing as a child had his contract revoked. I ain't gonna lie, that is one thing. I don't trust the FBI either because they're a bunch of scumbags, but I do think on the level of scumbags and swamp people, I think they're like one level probably like a little better than the CIA. And it is funny when they like cross paths because they don't. It's like jurisdictions with police, man. Like they have like competition against each other, even though they're all like, not saying the police are, but like the CIA and FBI, like they compete against each other, even though both teams are like disgusting swamp people. So they don't talk to each other at all. So like, they could be working on the same case and actually be helping each other, but they're so stubborn and big-headed that they won't do it. And you see it, like I said, with police. They do the same shit with jurisdictions. You know how many murders? Like, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and shit. And my wife, she'll be listening with me and she's like tearing her hair out, like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I know, it's crazy. They could have caught this serial killer like and avoided like 6 murders, but because of jurisdiction and they don't work with each other, that these people like run free and shit. But it does crack me up when an FBI agent catches a CIA agent doing something like that. Because where they don't keep up with each other, they can't, I don't know. It's crazy. Only one of the individuals cited in these documents was charged with a crime. In that case, as in the only previously known case of a CIA staffer being charged with child sexual crimes. So there was only one known case. Wow. The employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. They do have right here. Got a tip? You can email tips@buzzfeed.com to learn how to reach us securely. Go to tips.buzz. Okay, so if you got a tip on the case, there you go. The CIA did not answer detailed questions, saying only that the agency, quote, takes all allegations of possible criminal misconduct committed by personnel seriously. Oh, I'm sure you do. A spokesperson for the Eastern District of Virginia, where many of the criminal referrals were sent, also did not answer detailed questions, saying the district, quote, takes seriously its responsibility to hold accountable federal government employees who violate federal law within our jurisdiction, unquote. Yeah, I'm sure. 4 former officials who are familiar with how internal investigations work at intelligence agencies told BuzzFeed News there are many reasons that prosecutors might not pursue a criminal case. Gee, I wonder why. You're going against the CIA. You don't want to freaking die from getting shot by a heart attack gun. I don't blame you. One of them, familiar with the workings of the CIA's Office of the Inspector General, said the agency is concerned that in a criminal case, it could lose control of sensitive information. No, they just don't want to die like JFK and Dealey Plaza. George Bush Sr. The former official, who reviewed the declassified Inspector General reports, characterized the concern from CIA lawyers as, we can't have these people testify. They may inadvertently be forced to disclose sources and methods. Yeah, okay. The official, who noted the agency, has had a problem with the child abuse images stretching back decades, said they understand the need to protect sensitive and classified equities. However, quote, for crimes of a certain class, whether it's an intelligence agency or not, you just have to figure out how to prosecute these people. Agreed. Sexual crimes involving children, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon here you go. Dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that because I'm going to cover that in a whole episode by itself. But yeah, Operation or Project Flicker. I can't remember if it's Operation or Project, but yeah, check out that shit. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, we're not getting into that. We're going to cover that all on another day. All right. The child abuse revelations are drawn from an unprecedented release of reports by the CIA's Office of the Inspector General. BuzzFeed News gained access to these documents after a decade-long pursuit, which included 13 public records requests and 3 separate Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. So BuzzFeed had been working on this for a decade. Wow. Okay. So it took them 10 years to get this info. So this is 10-year-old news. But I mean, sadly, where everything's classified and it takes forever to get the info, We're just now hearing about this. So 2021. So it was in 2011 that this shit must have been going on. Those requests, the earliest of which date back to, 2012 is what they said is the earliest one, were for investigations closed by the Office of the Inspector General, which acts independently of the agency to examine misconduct by employees or contractors. So that's who we need to be putting fire under, Inspector General. Put some fire under his butt. Like, why did it take so long to get these documents, dude? New requests were filed each subsequent year, so they had to sit there and file one every year. At first, the CIA did not respond to the request. Gee, I wonder why. Then it said it would take years to provide any documents. Those requests were followed in 2014, 2015, and 2020 by lawsuits. So they had to sue them to finally get this shit. And the agency entered into negotiations about what documents to release. The beer bug pandemic delayed the process by a year. Oh, how convenient. Man, they use the beer bug pandemic for everything. It's a good scapegoat, man. It's foolproof, too. They really thought it out before they, pulled it off. Like, it's smart. They're not dumb. But the agency finally began to release the documents in March and will release the final set in December. BuzzFeed News is publishing the reports here for public review. Among more than 3,000 pages covering the years 2004 to 2019 are investigations, big and small, involving billing irregularities by contractors, a spy who expensed a visit to an overseas quote-unquote gentleman's club, so strip club, and an employee who used government computer systems to resell more than 700 items purchased at yard sales. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie though. I don't know what a gentleman's club is. I'm assuming it's a strip club. Is it like a whorehouse? Like kind of like what do they call it? What's the classier version of a prostitute? I forget what they call them, man. Anyways, I don't know. I've never been to a strip club. I've never had a prostitute, so I don't know. Other reports have been the subject of previous news coverage, such as the CIA's involvement in the production of the film Zero Dark 30, the torture of detainees held at black site prisons, and a decades-old operation in Peru that led to death of missionaries. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I ever get... I feel like one day they're gonna come for me and torture me in a black site. More recent reports show that a CIA employee was investigated in October 2018 for using agency computer systems and databases to conduct unofficial searches on her brother. She was spying on her brother. I ain't gonna lie, if I was CIA, I'd be spying on so many fucking people that I know. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, transparency, dude. And that the Inspector General substantiated allegations in a January 2018 memorandum that another CIA employee violated the Hatch Act, which I'm not sure what that is, says it limits political activity by civil servants in the executive branch. Not sure what that means. The documents also reveal the pattern of sexual abuse cases whereby internal investigators unearthed evidence of sexual crimes involving children, but federal prosecutors brought no charges. Disgusting. As is typical of intelligence documents, the records have been heavily redacted, of course. Among the information that has been hidden are the names of the accused employees and contractors and details about their jobs at the CIA. Of course. The agency cites privacy reasons. No, sorry. If an average citizen's a pedophile and they get caught, posted in the newspaper. Once you're a sex offender and you're on the list, you got to go door to door. Just because they're CIA, they get to be excluded from what the average Joe has to go through? No, that's not right. The agency cites privacy reasons, national security, and a federal law that exempts the CIA from disclosing details about its operations. Well, yeah, because the CIA is doing horrible, evil shit. So this is like a little clip of the document. Like I said, they show fragments of it, but at the end of the article, if you go on BuzzFeed, the article, you can actually go through the documents. So this is like it says inappropriate sexual activity with an unidentified 2-year-old. And it's highlighted. That's disgusting. And then it said that was number 13. And then it says below at number 14, it says admitted to having inappropriate sexual contact with the then. Not sure if it's the same girl at 2 years old. There was sexual activity, and then the same one. It could be, or two different children, but 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. Not knowing the identities of the suspects is a hindrance in identifying these cases and why they were declined, the spokesperson for the Eastern District of Virginia said. Of the 10 workers who the Inspector General found had committed sexual crimes involving children, 5 were fired or resigned. So, okay, that's better odds than I thought. 5 were fired. I mean, still, that's not enough, dude. 4 others were referred to a personnel board or the Office of Security. So I'm guessing that means they got demoted. So 5 fired or resigned, and then 4 demoted. Which investigates classified leaks and is responsible for the safety of CIA facilities. The outcome of one case in which 10 child sexual abuse images were discovered on a CIA contended. How stupid are these motherfuckers? And by the way, the CIA, they're supposed to be like 007, like secret agents, supposed to be super smart, super tech savvy, super dangerous physically, and this guy leaves child porn just on his unattended computer. Like how? I swear to God, there's like a level of smartness and intelligence. When you get too smart, you actually become too smart and become retarded. I swear. The employee to whom that device was assigned said he switched computers while he was overseas. He denied using it to view such material. In an 11th case, the Inspector General received a complaint in November 2016 that an employee used a government computer to view child porn. Although the investigators couldn't corroborate the allegation, they discovered that he had shown a, quote, consistent interest and pattern of redacted conversations involving sexual activities between adults and minors. I'm sure he would say, oh, I was just having those conversations for investigation. Yeah. The Inspector General alerted security officials and the Directorate of Science and Technology because the accusation raised, quote, potential security and accountability issues, unquote. Details of how the case was resolved and any penalties the employee faced are redacted. Beyond the CIA's handling of these cases, questions linger over why U.S. attorneys chose not to charge anyone, even when they seem to have significant evidence. Prosecutors generally have wide discretion over whether to bring criminal charges. They can judge the evidence too old or weak, consider a crime victim's desire to proceed with prosecution, and weigh the chances of convincing a jury. Quote, the occupation or employer of the suspect does not factor into that evaluation, the spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia said. Quote, while we cannot comment on the reasons why specific cases were declined, we do take it very serious. Any allegation that our prosecutors declined a potential case based on an improper assessment of the relevant factors. It appears that at least half of the sexual abuse allegations originated with a confession. Documents do not spell out the circumstances surrounding those statements, or whether they emerged during grueling, full-scope polygraph examinations that can probe every part of a CIA employee's or contractor's lives. Can it, though? First of all, why would polygraph matter? Because polygraph can't be used in court. Second off, you don't think these CIA agents know how or don't know how to fool a polygraph machine? Come on now, bruh. During those screenings, one former intelligence official told BuzzFeed News, "It is uncommon for a candidate to admit unlawful behavior in order to prove they aren't lying, only later to realize that their statement might have sunk their chance to work for the agency and even put them in legal jeopardy. Such statements are sent to the Inspector General," which it sounds like they sent the one agent to the Inspector General. How convenient. What the fuck? I just now noticed that. Am I wrong? Did they say that 4 of them got transferred or demoted to Inspector General? Did they not? Which then tries to collect evidence proving the crime occurred. But that gives the subject time to delete or destroy evidence. Exactly, said the former official. That's conflict of interest, dude. That's what happened in January 2010 when a CIA contractor logged into a chat room using an agency IP address and solicited sex from an FBI agent posing as a child, the aforementioned one. The contractor acknowledged an obsession with child sexual abuse images. But by the time that the Inspector General obtained a search warrant and seized the man's computer, someone had removed the hard drives and thrown them away, according to the reports. So let's see, this is another fragment of the declassified documents. I'm just going to go through the fragments because, dude, I'll be here all day if I read the entire documents. You're welcome to, I told you where to find it. You're welcome to check it out yourself. Let's see, it says 1 and then a bunch of bullshit. Let's see. Allegedly soliciting an undercover SA from the FBI in an online chat room in an attempt to travel interstate for the purposes of having sex with what he believed to be an underage child. And then there's another section that says 16. A review of the chat transcripts provided by the FBI indicated that blank, which is redacted, was engaged in a chat with an undercover SA from the FBI, parentheses UC, using the account name redacted, entered the chat room, redacted on redacted, and another CIA employee signed an affidavit admitting he used a government laptop to view photographs and videos of girls as young as being 10, abused by an older guy. The employee acknowledged that he first began seeking child sexual abuse images while he was in college and viewed as many as 1,400 while on assignment for the agency. He told CIA investigators that he was truly sorry, but also said he did not understand that it was a violation of agency policy to access child pornography until he took the agency information security course. You seriously didn't? That's like common sense. That's like saying, oh, I got caught. If I got caught looking at cheese pizza while at work and they caught me, like, oh, I didn't know it was against the rules. I thought I could just watch child porn in the parking lot while I was smoking my cigarette on break. This is so fucking stupid, dude. When the Inspector General examined the man's computers, however, no such images were visible. So he cleaned it. He swiped it. A federal prosecutor declined to charge the man in favor of administrative action by the CIA, because God knows they'll smack that wrist hard. The Personnel Board's recommendation is redacted. Of course it is. But in several of the cases, prosecutors had plenty to go on. During an investigation that ended in August 2009, an official with a security clearance acknowledged having sexual contact with 2 girls, ages 2 and 6, and downloading illicit images while working for the CIA. The Inspector General started a broad inquiry and attempted to identify the victims. That's another fragment of the documents. It says 12. As detailed below, redacted, admitted to OIG inappropriate sexual contact with 1 child victim and inappropriate sexual activity with a 2nd child victim. Additionally, redacted, examination confirmed Redacted was found to have extensively downloaded child pornography. The investigators found that he had extensively downloaded abuse material such as 63 videos of children between 8 and 16 years old. The man regularly used government Wi-Fi to download the material. He distributed it to others. So right there, distribution of child pornography, that right there, that's more charges right there. And he brought the photos back into the United States after he returned from a trip overseas. Despite the admissions and the evidence that investigators found on his devices, prosecutors from the Eastern District of Virginia declined to take up a criminal case. They told the Inspector General they were taint issues. The fuck does that mean? A term that is sometimes used to refer to mishandled evidence. The attorneys also said that the girls in those videos had not been previously identified child pornography victim. Why does that matter? You can clearly tell if it's a freaking 8-year-old. It said, let's see, it said, yeah, 8 to 16. You can tell an 8-year-old, sorry, making it harder to prove they were minors. No, I know what it, no. This is another fragment of the document. It says 26 on 19 August 2009, Assistant U.S. Attorney Redacted of the Eastern District of Virginia, U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution of Redacted based on taint issues from the redacted information and the lack of previously identified child pornography victims in his videos. By contrast, in the only 2 cases known to have led to criminal charges, both parties were also accused of serious offenses related to classified information. According to an August 6, 2013 Inspector General report, an investigation into a CIA contractor suspected of being in possession of child sexual abuse images turned up classified material stored on his personal hard drive and, quote, numerous technical documents related to the agency's systems on his laptop. The contractor was fired and stripped of his security clearance. He later pleaded guilty to the child abuse charges and registered as a sex offender. The report says the contractor was sentenced, but the details along with his name were redacted. So there's no telling if he had to do time at all. In the other cases, C.I.A. software engineer Joshua Schultz was charged in 2018 with possession of child sex abuse images as part of a much larger investigation into the largest leak of classified information in the agency's history, known as Vault 7, and published by WikiLeaks. Hell yeah, I love WikiLeaks. The trove of documents revealed secret tools that the CIA used to hack into computers. It was prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Of course. Free Assange, man. Free Assange. Trump should have did that, but, you know, he'd rather have Roger Stone. Like, who the fuck is Roger Stone again? Schultz faces a separate trial on the child sexual abuse charges. He has pleaded not guilty. And then you can read, honestly, the whole entire documents, like I said. That's all she wrote, though. That gives you the gist of it. If you want to delve deeper down the rabbit hole, go for it. That's all for today. If you're a audio-only listener, you can check us out on YouTube. We do, when me and Sammy do podcasts together, you can actually put faces to a voice. It's video, too. I also sometimes just put videos out there. If you're a YouTube subscriber or a YouTube subscriber and you want to save your phone battery, if you want to listen to the podcast while you're working, you can listen to us on Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcast, Anchor, and Breaker. And I hope you all have a good day, and I'll catch you later.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society. opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, would interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.